Sorry about that last recording. This is the Unfiltered News from the Reality Zone, Political Correctness, Not Spoken Here, with the editors Cassandra Anderson, and photos and humor by Scott and Joan Glover, and proofreader by Tom Parker. This is G. Edward Griffin's Reality Zone, or the Unfiltered News newsletter. Sorry about the last thing that happened. I have no idea what happened with Blueberry went out on me. For some reason, it didn't record this. I'm doing it again now. It's upsetting when I have to do this twice. I have to go to bed here in 20 minutes, so I just got enough time to play this game and put it back up there. This is for March 15th to the 21st. Of 2014. This is the comic strip for this week. It's a Senate Intelligence Committee. Are there any revisions to the minutes? Yeah, the CIA denies we spy on you from the plant in the corner. And they're all looking that way. There's one guy. Okay, here we go again. Video. Turkey has placed a ban on Twitter. The Turkish president, fighting corruption allegations, objects to people using Twitter to publish incriminating recordings that he says were faked. BBC, March 21st. And it's true, their NSA is out of control. They're the people who are controlling everything. A sixth grader in Virginia Beach, Virginia, was suspended from school and is facing expulsion after she stepped in and took a small razor from a classmate who was cutting himself with it. Her crime? She possessed the razor before throwing it away. The possession of knives or razors is prohibited in the school. The system has gone berserk, don't you know? Yahoo, March 20th. It's craziness. She took the blade away, but she's is now the criminal. Okay. A new analysis from NASA, never a straight answer, by Chinese and Berkeley solar experts show that a solar storm in July 2012 would have wiped out the world's power grid if it had occurred just 9 days earlier. Although it was more powerful than average, it shot off into space away from Earth. The sun slowly rotates, and 9 days later, the point of ejection would have been facing towards Earth. This is no trivial matter. Learn more at Racing with the Sun, the Register, March 19th. And a related story. The international insurance company Lloyd's of London says that solar storm damage to the Earth's power grid is a serious possibility. They say that unless preparations are made, the world electrical power could be wiped out for decades. It's not if, but when. Learn more at Racing with the Sun. Truth wins, March 20th. And it's true. If we get hit by this, if we don't have secure grounding on all the sites, this new grounding system where they triple ground everything on these coils that generate your power and step it up and step it down, it's all going to be over, and you're going to be in the dark ages. Okay, Georgia. The state Senate passed a bill to throw off Obamacare. It will prohibit the state resources from being used to expand Medicaid and forbid the creation of an exchange in the state. If the governor signs the bill, it will encourage other states to follow suits. TAC, March 19th. Being used to expand Medicaid. Forbid the creation of an exchange in the state. In other words, you'll be stuck going with abomination care. Video. The CEO of Ukraine's national television company was rogued up in his office, forced to resign. The men who did this can be heard shouting at him because of what they say is pro-Russian propaganda. Unlike the Crimea, many of those in Ukraine carry long-standing hatred of Russia from the Soviet era. Voice of Russia, March 19th. They do. South Carolina, a Republican leader used political tricks to defend Obamacare by preventing the amendments to a bill that would nullify Obamacare in the state. They ensured that the bill would be defeated. Attack March 19th. And they're trying to defend Obamacare. They want this there. They're making kickbacks off of this, don't you know? Your money, half of it's going to go to these insurance companies, and the other half is going to go to the government pocket. And they all have investments in the say Wall Street of it. Oh well, you're not listening if you're not paying attention. Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yashi Ya'alon have ordered their army to prepare for a possible military strike on Iranian nuclear sites sometime in 2014. Zero Hedge, March 19th. Really? They're going to go after them for making nuclear medicines just like Israel is making, and they are competition to them? Remember, competition is a sin to these money junkies. They want an umbrella corporation where all corporations are under one umbrella and there is no other corporation. Video. A new investigation into CIA's detention program after 9/11 reveals disturbing facts. Prisoners were tortured before receiving approval. The torture went beyond legal limits. The CIA misled Congress about it. Never reported before the CIA use of mind-altering drugs on detainees. The CIA is doing everything possible to withhold its official documents on these activities from the Senate Intelligence Committee. Al-Ziyara, March 19th, and they're doing this because they use these drugs where these guys are saying, yes, I killed Mickey Mouse, I killed, Daniel Boone or whatever. I mean, it's this craziness. They're not getting correct information out of these people by drugging them. Facebook new deep face program uses facial recognition technology to identify photos of people with 97% accuracy. It assumed that it would be used to target marketing, but governments are sure to be interested. Some European governments have requested Facebook to delete its facial recognition data obtained within their borders, but it's doubtful that anyone outside the Facebook headquarters can know if that has been done. Huffington Post, March 18th. Alright. Mexico. Manuel Plancarte Gaspar of the Knights Templar drug cartel was arrested on charges of kidnapping children to harvest their organs. Really, no big surprise there. Organ harvesting now is thought to be the bigger source of revenue for some of these gangs than drugs. Daily Mail, March 18th. Video. And it's true. They're doing all this up here. The urban legends are becoming facts now. Anyways, video. Following Russia's annexation of Crimea, a Ukrainian soldier is dead from an attack by armed men who stormed a military base where Ukrainian soldiers are still present. Ukrainian soldiers are barricaded in their bases and are authorized to use deadly force if attacked by pro-Russian forces. CBS News, March 18th. And I don't think they're really being attacked because Russia is just protecting their bases there. Anyways, new Snowden documents reveal NSA program that now records 100% of the phone calls from foreign countries and stores them for retrieval. At the time the documents were prepared, there was only one country targeted for this, but plans existed to expand the capacity to include other countries as well. Washington Post, March 18th. And, the NSA is going out of their way to be Big Brother across the world. Video. Crimea has voted to become independent of the Ukraine. In response, Obama signed an executive order, another dictator order, another fascist order, that sanctions 11 Russian Ukrainian officials who have promoted the referendum. Right-wing extremists in Ukraine are threatening to sabotage Russian pipelines to the EU. Russia Today, March 17th. You have to understand, Obama signed the executive orders that don't go outside the jurisdiction of the 60 square miles of Washington District of criminals. He's overbearing his power. He's not allowed to do that. I'm just sorry. Executive orders do not go outside of his. I mean, the original executive orders was like the First Lady of Jefferson or something saying, we need improvements to the White House. So he signed an executive order saying, yes, we'll give extra money to fix the White House up. And now look what it's done now. It's gone so far out of proportion, it's unreal. It's illegal what they're doing. Okay, next. A new form of GMO food moving into the food supply this year. Evola, a Swiss biotech company, has developed a synthetic vanilla through synthetic biology, a form of genetic engineering that uses computer-generated DNA crossed with yeast to create a new organism that has never existed on Earth. If Mother Nature wanted it, it would be here, but they're creating it. Long-term human and animal reactions to the product will not be known until after it is too late to remove it from the food chain, should it prove to be detrimental to health. Oh, Thinker News, March 17th. This is going out of control. GMO must go. Period. And that should be the slogan. Oklahoma. Before an annual meeting with the state legislators, 4 sheriffs were given the ultimatum to disarm before entering the Capitol. Instead, they stormed out of the building in anger and disgust. Newsmax, March 17th, and they had the right to. They were being disarmed because these people who are doing all this criminal activity are so afraid that these guys are going to pull their weapons on them and put them out of their misery and free the country that they can't handle it. So these guys just left instead of doing the ultimate, which would be to take them all down, which would maybe have not been a bad thing, but maybe not be a good thing. But yet, there was the option for the revolution to come back to the country. I mean, these people think they're above the law. These people that you put in there by vote think that they are above the law. They can make laws, but you're supposed to follow, but they don't have to. Think about it. And that's what's going on here. Michoacan, Mexico. Vigilantes who successfully chased most of the Knights Templar drug cartel from their state claim that now the government is prosecuting them. The government vowed to form a national guard to protect the people, but instead is prosecuting vigilante leaders for killing 2 members of a rival vigilante gang. Some businesses have complained that the vigilantes now are extorting them, just like the drug cartels did. It's hard to find any good guys in this story. I mean, time will tell who's the good guys out of all this. ABC News, March 17th. Nicaragua. Stampedes for government jobs kill 16. The stampedes occurred in stadiums in several major cities when 500,000 people, desperate for work, were invited to apply to just 4,556 government job openings. Almost a quarter of the population is unemployed. USA Today, March 16th. It's unbelievable what they've done to the world. The money junkies and the banksters. Unbelievable. And they think this is good. They're going to find out how bad it is when everything collapses. Power plants and everything. And it all goes down. They're going to be in their bunkers hiding away. And hopefully they're in the Bible it says they'll cave in on them and bury them there. Video, Moscow. More than 50,000 gathered in a Russian capital to protest their country's forceful takeover of Crimea. They are not opposed to Crimea's joining Russia, but they think it should be by choice, not military force. AFP, March 15th. Obama issued an executive order giving himself the power to seize the assets of anyone in the United States who meddles in the Ukraine. Yeah, really. Executive order. There's no one of those pencil whip laws without Congress going out there and saying, I am king. That is ironic in so much that he's one of the three biggest meddlers in Ukraine of all time, including Stalin and Putin. The language of the decree is significantly vague, so it can cover just about anyone who disagrees with the president's policy in Ukraine. The obvious purpose is to stifle dissent. Ron Paul Institute reports. Posted March 15. U.S. massive fraud has been discovered at the EPA. Really? EPA's doing wrong? Of course they are. They've been doing wrong for a long time. The Inspector General estimates that 90% of purchases through the agency's credit card accounts billed to you, the taxpayers, were fraudulent. Incredibly, the exact same type of fraud was uncovered in 2008. Nothing was ever done about it. Blitzkrieg posted March 15th, and this is what the EPA is getting away with. You got these little corporations out there, alphabets, doing this stuff and robbing you of your money, and you don't even care or notice for some reason, even though it comes out literally in the open. Video. California is banning the sale of eggs from hens kept in small cages, but Missouri's Attorney General Chris Koster is suing to overturn the ban in federal court. Koster claims that legislators in California should not be able to regulate farming practices that affect trade with other states, where people cannot vote them out of office. Critics say Koster is fronting for big agriculture to gain support for his upcoming bid to become governor of his state. Even if the federal court should rule in favor of Koster, California can, under the 10th Amendment, simply ignore the ruling and say, screw you. This is our state, not your state. Goodbye. And they will do that. HLN posted on March 15th. 10th Amendment is what we all should be forcing on the federal government. Each state is not controlled by the federal government. I'm sorry, the federal government was there to take care of arguments between states, not to bring laws over all states. Abortion and all this crap they're coming out with. It's just wrong. St. Louis, Missouri, a young man with a previous arrest record says that 2 police officers picked him up for no reason and threatened to send him back to prison on a trumped-up charges unless he agreed to frame someone with a gun. No one would believe such a story until they hear the recording that the man made on his cell phone during the conversation. It really happened. KMOV4 posted March 15th. You gotta see that. I'll have a link to this. Don't worry. This guy here, it's called Skywalking at Mount Nimbus, Canada. That is scary. You have to walk on these planks, and they're pretty well shellacked and everything, so you can walk across them and they won't break on you. But it does look kind of scary. Here's the analysis for this week. This reports commentaries that look beyond the news to identify historical facts and trends that may help to place the news into perspective. A video. Obama announced his intention to give up U.S. control of registration of internet website names and addresses. Judge Neapolitano says that this is a cosmic move. It appears that Obama is responding to global complaints of NSA spying, but that it will open up the opportunity for enemies of America to acquire the control that the U.S. has needlessly given up. Fox News, March 21st. And it's true. Obama is just out there. He has no understanding of what he's talking about, and he's trying to grab everything. He wants to be a dictator, a fascist dictator. Hitler is his new form of being. He wants to be an Austrian, but he's black. But that's beside the point. Half black. I guess his white side were Austrians. I don't know offhand, but that's what it seems. Video. A new survey shows that 38% of private businesses will lay off workers, and more will reduce hiring if the federal government implements a new law to increase the minimum wage. Of course, you cannot legislate prosperity. An increase in minimum wage could eliminate over 1 million jobs, mostly at the bottom end where people need jobs the most. That's 1 million more on welfare. They want you on welfare. Fox News, March 20th. They want you on welfare. That way they can control you when you get on there. It's kind of like In Time with that little barcode that runs out. And when that runs out on your welfare, hey, you starve to death, huh? Go out and get a job. Make a job. Make yourself. Learn a trade. Go to the library. Do something. Don't fall into this trap. This is a trap. You think you're stupid because you dropped out of high school? Go to the library. If you can read at all, start reading. The more you read, the more you'll start to understand, the more you'll learn. That's how I had to do it. I didn't drop out of high school. I just couldn't read well because they were idiots teaching me. And so I had to go out and learn on my own. I got a dictionary and I looked up the words and I learned. And now I use big words now. Yes, big words. Yeah. Come on, people, wake up. Don't let these creatures dumb you down until you're going, ooh, ooh. And I mean, that's what they want you to be like. Idiocracy should wake you up. The movie Idiocracy. If you want to see a movie that will teach you about this, watch the movie Idiocracy. It will teach you what they want you to be in the future. Video. Ben Swan explains how Western powers funded and overthrew the Ukrainian government as they have done a number of occasions in the past. He points out that Ukraine and Crimea have not won their freedom, but merely have switched the master to whom they will serve. Sad, but true. Ben Swan, March 19th. And it's true. They're getting hoodwinked into another slavery. Michael Mann, creator of the discredited global warming hockey stick graph, is being pressured by 17 mainstream news agencies to produce his computer codes that generate the graph. The fact that Mann has refused to reveal his code is widely viewed as evidence that they would incriminate him in scientific fraud. This article explains why journalists who continue to perpetuate the global warming myth now want Mann to reveal all. Prince Saperia Scientific, March 18th. And he's been lying. Climate change, they went from global warming to climate change. You know why they did that? Because it's getting colder. Now they're calling it just climate change. Here's something to wake you up. Climate change. Spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, winter. That is climate change. These people are trying to hoodwink you. They're trying to make you think that climate change is something new. No, climate change happens all the time. We went from ice ages to heating that the earth turned into a jungle and then back into a cooling age. I mean, don't listen to these freckers out there. They're stupid. And they're ignorant. And they're trying to convince you to be as ignorant as they are. Or at least trying to convince you so they can make a buck out of your pocket to theirs. That's what's going on. Makes me mad when I hear about all this. The U.S. Treasury released corrected figures in its Treasury International Capital, the TIC report, that supports suspicion that the data is fabricated to conceal the truth. This analysis shows why that conclusion is inescapable and what truth is being concealed. Zero Hedge, March 18th. There it is. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. They're lying to you. You're listening to them. The mainstream media says this is what's fact. It's not fact. It's a lie. And you're eating it up because Dancing with the Stars is in your head. The TV is in your head. Turn the damn thing off. Go to alternative media. Learn the truth. Don't learn the lies of MSM. Oh, God. Mexico. Organized crime is becoming bigger and more entrenched. Drug cartels have learned how to profit from extortion, ransom, skimming legitimate businesses such as mining and logging, trafficking in immigrants, and organ harvesting. Again, this article comes back, and this is in the AP. They're doing this stuff. You don't go down there unless you want to give your organs up to somebody rich. March 17th. 2014. Here's a great photo. Elephants love mud. Watch the video and see how these elephants all in this little pit with a little water and mud are sitting in there and splashing it over them to keep the parasites and flies off of them. It's interesting. Then you got this here. Dear Andy, how have you been? Your mother and I are fine. We miss you. Please sign off your computer and come downstairs for something to eat. Love, Dad. That's like kids at the table texting each other at the dinner table. Instead of talking to each other, they text each other. Really? Really? I mean, and that's it. And there's this week's stop. A solar flare aha moment. Yep. There you go. You have to see all this to believe it. And that's this week's headline news. News you may have missed. The Unfiltered News. Compiled by G. Andrew Griffin. Until next time, be good or be good at it. And good day.